Let's give it up for Tom, everybody. Yes, my name is James. I work for the London Underground, but you can think of me more like a replacement bus service. I'm not what you were expecting and probably the second best option here, so... don't that. It makes me sound really pathetic. That's it. So as I said, I work for London Underground. So anyone like the Underground here? Give me a cheer if you like it. Does anyone here hate the Underground? Yes. Did you see that? She put her hand up then. Can you get your phone out and text the British Transport Police 61016? Thank you. It's not the only job I've had. I used to be cabin crew for British Airways, if you can believe that. I know what you're thinking. You're looking at me going, there's no way he was cabin crew. There's a specific image for cabin crew. But as an overweight, straight, white man, I think I was a diversity hire, so... My girlfriend at the time used to worry that I was going to cheat on her with some of the female crew, but I don't know why she worried about that, because... I'm sure all the ladies are out there thinking, autistic fat man, yeah. It was never something that she needed to worry about. Now, had I been a captain, on the other hand, she definitely would have needed to worry. The captains are absolute sex pests. Not even joking. It's a genuinely true story. We were once in Singapore, and the captain had spent the whole dinner talking about his wife and his kids, and I then caught him taking 2 escorts back to his hotel room later on in the evening. Yes, he attempted to bribe his way out of that by offering me one of the escorts. I swear that is genuinely true. I politely refused and declined, but I guess being straight cabin crew probably is like being in Cheers. Everybody knows your name. It's not the only job I've had. I used to work in hotels as well. One hotel when I was working in, we had the cast and crew of Mission Impossible staying with us. So Alec Baldwin, Tom Cruise, Jeremy Renner. I know what you're all thinking. What a name dropper. What you don't understand is that that's a necessary detail to pad out my routine. In all seriousness, though, I was working as the night manager, and I'm doing the security check around the hotel, and I come across Alec Baldwin sat in front of a rather dwindling log fire in the lounge, and he waves me over, and I didn't really want to go over, but then I saw the gun tucked in his belt, and I kind of... So, walk over to him, I'm like, what can I do? He's like, can you get the fire going again? I was like, well, I haven't got any wood. And he's like, what have you got? I was like, can maybe get some newspapers. I wander off, and I came back with a copy of The Sun and the Daily Mail, so I guess they are useful for something. And I hand him the papers, and he hands me the fire grate, and I'm just kind of stood there like a spare part, really. I don't think I've ever felt so useless since the time I was offered an escort by a captain. So yeah, as you can tell, I've had quite an entertaining career. A lot of that stems from the fact that I've got quite an interesting and entertaining family. For example, my dad has been sending me jokes ever since he found out I was doing this. Like, I swear that is true. He's been saying... In fact, I'll give you an example of one of the jokes he's been sending me. Bear with me 1 second when I find this. This is what he sent me last week. Where is it? Here we go. Yeah, there it is. I tried some jokes in a dress shop this morning. I had them in stitches. It's genuinely true. I don't know why my dad sends me jokes, though. He doesn't need to. He's a naturally funny man when he tells stories, mainly because he's had a very interesting life. He grew up in Sheffield, and he was once telling me a story about people from Sheffield. There you go. He knew Peter Stringfellow. Does anyone here know who Peter Stringfellow is? Yeah. Is there anyone here who doesn't know who Peter Stringfellow is? Yes. OK, let me describe Peter Stringfellow in a way I once heard him described by someone on TV. Peter Stringfellow was described in a poem as a man with a tanned leather face and a massive libido, bad 80s hair, and a grin like a pedo. Yeah, he ran a load of nightclubs and then moved into owning strip clubs and various table dancing clubs like that, so you can sort of imagine the type of person he was. My dad's telling me this story about Peter Stringfellow, and just in the middle of Oxford Street, we're walking down Oxford Street, he's telling me this story, and then he suddenly turns to me and goes, anyway, for reasons that I won't bore you with, that involved his brother having a gun, he had to leave town. And it just ended the story there. That was it. I was like, what? I have so many questions. How do you just end the story there? Subsequent to that, I found out that my mum also knew Peter Stringfellow. Now, I should point out that my mum grew up in Manchester, a different city, and still knew Peter Stringfellow. She told me a story about him running the Millionaires Club in Manchester, which is a massive big nightclub that existed in the 70s in Manchester. My mum and her friends used to regularly attend this nightclub, and they knew both Peter and the manager. The manager had gained a bit of a reputation, it turns out, because he used to shag a lot of women with the office door open, and because the office was right next to the toilets, everyone would see it as they were walking past. His name was Roger, and according to my mum, he earned the nickname Roger the Rogerer. That's my mum's words. I'm sure it's also purely coincidence that my dad's name happens to be Roger. You have been a fantastic audience. Thank you very much. That is my time.